According to Motsoaledi, undocumented immigrants who obtain documents by deception will forfeit all of their assets, including their homes, automobiles, and companies. Please kindly hit on the subscribe button as we go into the details. The SIU is looking into allegations that more than 120 Home Affairs employees illegally issued papers to foreign nationals. The Home Affairs Minister of South Africa, Aaron Motsoaledi, issued a strong statement announcing harsh penalties for undocumented immigrants who obtained papers via deception. These people, according to Motsoaledi, might lose all they own, including homes, vehicles, and companies. This is in response to information that more than 120 Home Affairs employees are being looked into for possible participation in the unauthorized issue of papers to foreign nationals. The investigation is being led by the Special Investigating Unit SIU, which is tasked with uncovering misconduct in the Home Affairs Department. The goal of the inquiry is to find and bring charges against government employees who have enabled foreign people to obtain South African papers via fraud. This behavior seriously jeopardizes national security in addition to undermining the integrity of the nation's immigration system. The declaration made by Motsoaledi highlights the government's resolve to fight corruption and illegal immigration. In order to discourage illicit activity and strengthen the rule of law, the government is focusing on the assets of people who have gotten papers by dishonest methods. Since it targets both the demand from illegal immigrants looking to take advantage of the system and the supply of fake papers from dishonest authorities, this strategy is anticipated to have a significant effect. The minister's position has generated a lively discussion. Proponents contend that it is an essential measure to safeguard the nation's sovereignty and guarantee that resources be set aside for citizens and lawful residents. They claim that taking tough measures against undocumented immigrants who have manipulated the system would free up South Africans' access to social services, employment, and housing. It also makes a clear statement about how corruption in government will not be accepted. Critics warn, nonetheless, that in order to prevent any violations of human rights, such steps must be taken carefully. They emphasize how crucial it is to make sure that due process is observed and that people aren't wrongfully deprived of their assets in the absence of strong proof of misconduct. The possible socioeconomic effects that the loss of assets can have on families and communities are another source of worry. A vital part of this effort is the SIU's probe of the Home Affairs officials. The administration wants to avoid such abuses of the immigration system and rebuild public confidence in it by making individuals in positions of authority accountable. The investigation's findings will probably have an impact on South Africa's overarching plan for handling immigration and combating corruption. In conclusion, Minister Motsoaledi's declaration represents a critical advancement in South Africa's war against corruption and illegal immigration. In order to protect the integrity of its immigration system and maintain the rule of law, the government targets both unlawful foreign nationals and the authorities who aid them. The outcome of these initiatives and the future of immigration law in the nation will be largely determined by the current SIU inquiry. Build One South Africa, Boza, leader Motsoaledi once again attacked the South African government for how it handled the Zimbabwean problem, blaming the ANC's policies for the country's flood of Zimbabweans. Speaking on the Sunday Times Politics Weekly podcast, Motsoaledi spoke about how the political choices made in South Africa affect the unrest in its neighbor. We wouldn't have this influx of Zimbabweans if it weren't for the ANC's policy on the government of national unity when former president of Zimbabwe Robert Mugabe lost elections, Motsoaledi said. In an interview with Sunday Times deputy editor Mike Saluma, he said these things. Motsoaledi, whose party is running in the polls on May 29th, emphasized that in 2007 political violence and economic unrest drove many Zimbabwean nationals to South Africa. South Africa was mediating Zimbabwe's political dispute at the time. According to census data from 2022, there were little more than 1 million Zimbabweans living in South Africa. Prior to the elections on May 29th, the problem of unauthorized immigrants has taken center stage in the political conversation. Motsoaledi is an advocate for border security and immigration legalization. If his party wins power, he says he can record every immigrant in the country in 2 years. In addition, Motsoaledi listed requirements for foreigners wishing to become citizens, such as being conversant in the local tongue, understanding South African,